when you hear the expression, God, I wonder what these streets would say if they could talk. Sarasota Street Talk is making the streets talk, and we're recording what they're saying. So that, to me, that is what Sarasota Street Talk is all about.
Sarasota Street Talk is to introduce people of the surroundings.
We're literally right now, we're downtown Sarasota, and we hear people all around us telling different stories. Those are the streets talking.
Scotty, how you doing?
Mark, I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking, sir.
Another beautiful day here in downtown Sarasota.
Mm-hmm. One that we did not think was going to happen.
No.
Because about 2 hours ago, it was like Armageddon down here.
Yeah, it was 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
I got down
it was
here
pretty
like
stormy.
6. I got down here like 6 because we had to set up all this ridiculousness.
All this
up here.
newness.
All this stuff here. But I really thought I was going to die. I thought I might die. But no, but then yet again, we forget being here for 40 years. You listen to the news, and then you got the rain. It goes by, and you get the sun.
Right.
And you don't. I'm not saying don't listen to the weatherman, but don't listen to the weatherman. So, my name is Mark.
Our tent was almost at pineapple and Maine.
If this thing was not
lemon and Maine,
if this thing wasn't tied down,
I'd be, whoa, this thing's gone.
I'd be calling our guest here and saying, please meet us at Marina Jack, because that's where the tent is.
That's where the tent is located.
So my name is Mark Klecka. I'm a realtor here at Caldwell Banker downtown. My cohort in crime is
Scott Maloff, mortgage broker at Summit Lending Solutions here in Sarasota.
And we are Sarasota Street Talk. And we do this every weekend on Saturdays here in front of Gator Club and Parker's Books here at Lemon Avenue and Main Street.
The first, second, and fourth Saturday.
Correct.
And fifth if there happens to be one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third Saturday we are at
the Bazaar at Apricot and Lime.
Which is located?
At Apricot and Lime.
You got it.
Mm-hmm. And that's Miss Kim Living Goods establishment, which is phenomenal.
Good friend of ours.
Good friend and just fantastic person. But we just love doing this here at the Farmers Market. And the whole premise of this is, if the streets of Sarasota could talk, what would they say? And they do. And this is Sarasota.
All
the people walking around here is Sarasota.
Sometimes we have scheduled guests, and sometimes we have people just walk up and spend some time with us.
And sometimes we just accost
and we tackle them and bring them
to the chair.
But today we have a special guest.
We have a very special guest today.
Right into that, right?
Yeah, and we're actually going to just go ahead and allow her to introduce herself. Very honored to have her here.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And we're just going to let you introduce yourself, and we're just going to go from there.
All right. I'm Mayor Liz Alpert. I'm the mayor of the city of Sarasota for this year, and have been on the city commission since 2015. And before we start, I do want to add, I also follow Mark Klecka with his I Love Downtown Sarasota Facebook page.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Motivates me to get up a little earlier. If you follow his page, you know he's always encouraging people. He keeps getting up earlier and earlier.
He went on vacation. You went on vacation, and I had to get up and do the jog. I don't know if you noticed that. I went out at like 5:30. About 5:30, I would go out. And I would be like, this is Scott. Mark's out of town, so I'm doing this. And I would do the early post. I'm like, 2 days, 3 days. I'm like, I'm done.
I can tell you, though, that
I can't do that early. Sorry.
I totally get it. But I just wanted to compliment you on the positivity and featuring all of the businesses and the different things in our downtown, because I love downtown Sarasota too. So thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. I actually, and it's great because you learn something new every day. Like, I've been here for 40 years, but as you well know, Sarasota is growing so quickly. There's so much going on here that there's always something new to learn every day.
Absolutely.
And just one thing too, on your right side. Flipping that in.
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah. No, that happens.
What am I doing?
No, it's okay.
Oh, I got it.
No, it's okay.
What an idiot.
No.
Okay.
That might be a little bit easier.
You're good.
Do you hear better?
You hear better now.
Yeah. No, I just noticed that, and it happens.
But Liz, so I'm newer to Sarasota, and like he said, he's been here since you were 40?
Since I was
40 years since you were 40.
I've been here for about 98
You're like
years.
80 now?
Yeah, I'm about 85. I don't drink. I don't
So for
smoke.
me,
That's why.
it's neat to see him on I Love Downtown Sarasota, and doing this, I learned so much from people like you who come on and talk to us. So
no, we learn so much from the
awesome.
guests that come on, and then just the people here, because it's great because again, Streets of Sarasota could talk about what they say. You can't judge people around here because like someone will walk in and just walk up in the chair, and we'll talk to them and be like, okay, this is gonna be just somebody that often. Yeah, I'm a concert pianist.
We had that, yeah.
We've had this. I'm here for a couple of days, and I'm off to Paris to do a. You never would have known, but everybody here has this unique story. Everybody here is very interesting.
So tell me a little.
That's true. I mean, I
you can't judge.
I'm always just blown away, and also by the number of people who retire here and have had these incredible backgrounds, that these are people who could choose to live anywhere in the world, and they choose Sarasota. So I think that says a lot about our community and what we have to offer people.
So you've been
Absolutely.
a commissioner for 8 years. Are you from here?
I actually am not. I'm from Illinois, but
where? We're from.
Everybody is from Illinois.
Where are you from?
Everybody's from Illinois.
Where are you from?
I grew up in southern Illinois near St. Louis, in about a town of about 1,000 people.
Okay.
So
I've been to
sort of like
Carbondale.
Mayberry.
I've been to Carbondale enough times in my life.
Yeah, Carbondale is a little further south,
right.
but yeah, I know. And then I lived in northern Illinois, just south of the Wisconsin border, for about 7 years.
What town was that?
I came here to Sarasota originally in 1974, so I've been a Floridian
you've been
since
a-
74.
Okay.
All right, so
But then
that
I only
counts.
lived here 5 years, and then I lived in St. Pete 5 years, and then Tampa 17 years, and then came back here in 2002. So I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on the entire area that
Right.
we encompass.
No, absolutely. And Scott, you've been here for like going on.
Upside down.
Miss Patty
I've been-
Tebow.
Hey, Patty.
Miss Patty Tebow. So Scott, you've been here for a year, right? A little bit over a year.
Yeah, September.
And you've
Was
got
a
the
year.
knowledge, a collective knowledge of the people
Not
here.
really. There's so much.
Of probably someone who's been here for like 10 or 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I attribute that to you
well, just,
and the people I've met.
and the people that you meet,
You
like
know,
people we
we've
meet
had
downtown.
Kyle on here. We've had another commissioner, Jen,
Yes.
and all these people. So
we get
I learn so much all the time.
We got like Raph over at Classico. We get different
Modric from
Mike
Channel
Modric,
7,
Channel 7,
Kirsten
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 Sponseller.
Sponseller. I mean, there's just so many
Kim
people that
Livingood.
I've met
Yeah.
that have the knowledge of Sarasota like unbelievable.
That's a wonderful way to get it, that most of us don't get that opportunity to get to know the community that quickly, that fast. So,
And everybody's so friendly.
yeah, it really is. It's a very warm and welcoming community. I mean, when I first came back here in 2002, I had applied to law school and started in summer of 2003, actually. But the other thing I did right away was I started looking for ways to get involved in the community, and actually met someone who had connections to the city commission here, and they were appointing a board to administer this newly passed human relations ordinance in Sarasota. So I got to be on the first human relations board starting in 2003, and I'd only been here a year, so it really helped me to dive into all of the issues in the city and be involved. And I was doing this while I was going to law school, so it was it was a lot of fun.
So, in the 8 years, what have you? Obviously, you've seen some growth, right?
There's been a little bit of
it's
growth.
been-
There's been
yes.
some growth, yeah.
and then obviously a bunch more going on now. And we talk to a lot of people who are like, some like it and some don't, right? They don't so much like it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a happy medium. Like you got the people who lived here for 20, 30 years, and they wish it was like it was before, and I get that, understand that too. But there's got to be some development too, and I guess that's got to be a trick, kind of a
Yeah, that
hard
was my
line for
question.
yourself,
Yeah.
because now it falls on you.
Yeah.
Now
Yep,
it's
so-
like people you hear the complaints about too much growth, the infrastructure can't handle it, the traffic's crazy, it's going to turn into Miami now, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Well, here's what I usually tell people is, number one, the downtown master plan was created in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003, right when I came here. And all of this was pretty much dead then, at that time. And so what happened is one of the really urban planning gurus came to town, invited by the city commission at the time, and they did a series of charrettes, which are like public workshops, on what people wanted to see in downtown Sarasota. So they created a master plan with a lot of public input. The master plan included what's going on now, but what happened was not long after the master plan was put into place, things didn't happen because there was a real estate crash. So that stopped growth for a long time. So then after, the economy started getting better after 2008, 2009, then what was planned in the early 2000s started coming out of the ground. And I think people were not ready for that, the people who hadn't been in on that original planning, but this all has been part of the plan because we knew, and I wasn't on the commission at the time, but the commissioners knew we had to plan for the growth that was going to happen. And as I said, the downtown was dead. So there were a number of people who were trying to bring some vitality to downtown Sarasota, and that's why we have the vitality now, is because you have to have the population to support it.
Right. Now, so being here for, like I said, 40 years, I remember, and it wasn't too long ago, 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't come downtown. Well, you could come downtown, but you didn't do any of this. Like, you'd come down,
correct.
You'd stop at a store, you'd do your thing, and you'd leave. Because
and there
it was a little sketchy.
Yeah, and there were not that many stores, restaurants, the things that are going on now that just makes this a wonderful, welcoming community.
Yeah, it seemed like it took, because then you also had the Gulfstream condos. Those have been around for a long time, but it took like 1350 Main Street and then 100 Central and like these interior ones to kind of start. Because then the people that lived there now wanted to eat somewhere. So then the restaurants came, and it just started to kind of blossom from there. But like to your point about things just aren't happening just like this, the Bay Project, that's been underway for like 12 years, 10 to 12 years. It's been in the works, building it up, and now all of a sudden it just seems like it's this explosion of construction.
Right.
It's been going on for a while.
But it's
right?
It's a long time coming. I think that's what people don't realize. It's, all of these things take a lot of planning, take a long time. I serve on the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is it's a board consisting of elected officials who decide how the federal transportation funds are spent. And a project will go into that system, get designed, get the funding. It can take 10 to 20 years for a project to go through for infrastructure projects. So sometimes, it's just these things don't happen overnight, but there are people looking at it and planning and preparing for all of this.
Sure. And again, I just want to kind of interrupt here just for a second for those who hadn't heard possibly. We're speaking right now with our mayor, Miss Liz Alpert, here, and she's gracious enough to come stop and talk to us for a little bit here on our wacky Sarasota podcast here, downtown Sarasota podcast. How do I put this? So with some of this development, I'm sure you're hearing about the new building.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Do you get a lot of heat from that one? Like it's starting a trend of where are we going to stop at some point? We're talking about the Obsidian.
Yeah. We've had for the past, I don't know how many.
I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything,
That's all right.
Yeah.
Multiple meetings. We've had people appear before the city commission. They're wearing red shirts to indicate they're against the construction of this building. So there has been a lot of pushback. But that being said, every building there's a lot of pushback. The 1350 Main, people living there don't realize how controversial that was. With that being built, so there hasn't been one building that hasn't had controversy.
Yeah, and also, too, going back to the Ringling Bridge. So I remember the Ringling Bridge, there was so much, it was going to be such an eyesore. It was, it was going to be just this huge monstrosity. They wanted the old bridge until it got built. And now it's like the cornerstone. It's like the icon of Sarasota.
Right.
So, like, you're right. Like, there's always pushback. There's always that until it happens.
Until it happens, and then I doubt there's anybody that will admit they opposed it. So
yeah, right. At this point, right now, no one's going to come forth and say that. So,
and being newer here, the Bay Runner was a great addition since I've lived here.
The Bay Runner,
I just love it.
Phenomenal.
It's awesome, right?
I mean, between the Bay Runner and the
to
Veo
me,
scooters,
I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yes.
So, do the Veo scooters still have some life here?
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be around because I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They've actually, since they were introduced, they've actually gotten more ridership when we had to add more Veo scooters and bicycles. So, yeah.
Yeah, because you always hear, there's always those few that kind of spoil things for everybody else, but unfortunately, it's just a very few, and it's such a great addition to the walkability ride. But you just take it down to Toledo or wherever you're going to be. I have to admit, my wife and I have gone 2-on-1. You're not supposed to. I know, Scott. I know. It's surprising.
I haven't ridden one,
but
I have taken the Bay Runner.
Yeah,
I love the Bay Runner. To Toledo. I've taken it to Toledo.
Teresa and I went ahead and did one of the sit downs. We went to
Armin's.
McCurdy's Comedy Club, and we for some reason mine can't scan like I don't, so hers did, and we did
So you just jumped
2-on-1,
on it, yeah.
and we went down to McCurdy's,
Oh,
and
boy.
you saw this out of people's like faces as like cars going by. They were like this.
They're going, yeah.
That's that Merc Lucky guy.
Like, oh my god!
Not surprised.
I'm like this guy.
Not surprised.
No, but but just the town being so walkable. 12 Zagat-rated restaurants within 2 blocks. I mean,
Plus lots of retail too. People don't realize you could walk around and let's say you want to do your holiday shopping that, we just passed that, but you could walk around and do your entire list by the shops that are downtown.
At 5 o'clock on the 24th, thank God, because that's what I did. Because of course, heaven forbid I do anything ahead of time.
And we can talk a little bit about expanding to the other side of 301 in Washington. Kim's area.
Oh, Limelight District.
The Limelight
District. Yeah, what's going on over there?
Yes. It's starting to have some, growth pressures as well, which I think is, again, a good thing for that district. So I think, we're working on, and there's some really talented people like Kim, like Howard Davis, who are really working on helping shape how that area develops to make that all it can be.
Yeah, Mr. Howard Davis did a lot there in Rosemary.
Yes.
The Bota building and all that right there, and redesigned that. Very mid-century modern. Totally, it's phenomenal.
He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He manages to get things done when he wants to.
Now, actually, I do have a question here, and this is just my own curiosity. And I'm not quite sure, and I think I know the answer to this, but I'm not quite sure Sarasota has the capacity to do this yet. But is there any plans for possibly having some of this be walkable, like from, let's say, or shut down to traffic from, let's say,
Main
Orange
Street
to
Pineapple, maybe?
to Pineapple to Orange, maybe certain times of the week or day, or I'm not quite sure if there's enough traffic for that yet. Foot traffic,
it's been talked about occasionally, but there's nothing in the near future. What we are looking at, though, is a plan for Fruitville between 41 and 301 to help connect the downtown and the Rosemary. Widen the sidewalks, make that a lot more pedestrian friendly. So we don't, there was a plan a few years ago that I was really in favor of. I don't know if we're going to be proposing the same thing, but we are going to be making some changes to that. So I'm looking forward to that happening. I really wanted that to come about.
Fantastic. Again, Miss Liz Alpert here, our new mayor, is sitting here talking to us. So we're getting a lot of good information here. And I know it's always been Fruitville Road was kind of like the northern division of end of downtown, and it's now past that. Now it's like more like 10th Street, right? Is more like so Rosemary is very much downtown, and then you've got Gillespie Park off to the right and all that, which is included as well. So is that kind of accurate to say that the 10th Street now is pretty much kind of the dividing line?
I haven't really thought about where the dividing line is. Or is there really even a dividing line? But I do know, we're doing zoning in the Rosemary district. The reason any rezoning that's done, it's it's zoned as downtown core. Mm-hmm. Well, so what does that tell you? That
now, is there downtown core in Rosemary now?
Yeah, there's downtown core.
Oh, that's right, there is, because I've got a lot right. Yeah, I've got a lot right behind the Encore.
Yeah,
yeah. And that lot's downtown core. It's 10 feet, 10 stories high.
Downtown core is 18, but you're thinking downtown edge.
I'm thinking downtown edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're probably getting in too much of the weeds for people, but
it's okay for me though. I'm just listening.
Hey, we'll talk business later. We'll talk business later.
I love this because I learn.
No, because but
core and edge.
Okay, and actually, what this does segue into a good topic here too, though, because Sarasota has a good plan. Like, people are thinking these things are going willy-nilly, like everything's just shooting up and it's going to go crazy.
Liz mentioned that 20 years ago they planned what we see today.
Yes.
Right, yeah. right. But also, too, like, for
it just
instance,
got delayed because of the 08 issue, 07, 08 issue, and maybe COVID slowed a few things. But no,
this is
what Sarasota was planned. Yeah.
Right. And just as you mentioned, though, too, that even like the different zones, you got the DTN, you got the neighborhood, then DTE, downtown edge, and then core, and then Bayfront, right? So each one has different heights, different restrictions, different density, what you can do, and so you can't just build a high rise in Gillespie Park, because you can't, so. It is planned in such a way that there's higher buildings downtown for a reason, densities here, and if you go to Gillespie, you're not going to go ahead and see a high rise. So, there's a good plan in place, and I think it takes people being informed to understand that there is a plan in place.
That's right.
For Sarasota and its growth.
Yeah, and I try to do what I can to educate people as to why these things are happening, and to also emphasize that you want your density in the downtown. That's where, because that's not adding to the traffic when it's downtown. Because, as I said, I've lived here like 21 years now, and lived on 2 blocks from Main Street. So I basically live downtown. I'm downtown all the time. I don't see extra cars on the street downtown. I see extra people on the sidewalks, and that's what you want to happen, because the traffic comes from people in the suburbs who are driving into town or driving through town. It's not the density in the downtown.
And we've talked about this, that some people like the downtown type of area and all the energy and all that, and they have a choice if they want to not live in this be 15, 20 minutes and you're in wherever
downtown, right?
Lakewood Ranch or whatever, whatever. So you can live out there or you can live here. And kudos for bringing Fresh Fridays back to
thank you. Bringing it right back to where it belongs. But actually, I love Fresh Fridays being on State Street, and I do know kind of why it left for a while, but we're not going to bring that up.
Complained all the time.
Okay, and I was always complaining about that. But I did think, but it became really good though because of it traveling to 5 Points and then to Palm, because then people then saw businesses they wouldn't have seen before.
That's correct.
Right? So it really did benefit, I think.
Yes.
That it moved around. You know?
And there was a wonderful one on State Street last night. The weather was just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It could not have been better.
Played?
I think it was.
They were called the Rockefellers?
Something like I started to say Roosevelt's
Only because I saw that.
It was a presidential type.
Yeah.
But they were a spinoff of another band or something.
Yeah.
My friend was telling me.
Yeah. So I just want to mention. I'm sorry. We have Ms. Liz Alpert here, our mayor, here speaking with us. For anyone who did not hear that before, so we had the pleasure of hearing her opinions on everything that's going on. So I'm going to bring up something that
Your turn.
always is a little controversial, but I love. Circles.
Yes.
All right, the circles.
I thought
So-
you were gonna ask.
Roundabouts.
I thought you were going to ask.
Roundabouts.
Roundabouts. I love the roundabouts.
I'm going to go
But
on.
no one knows how to. I was yesterday. I was like, oh, must be in season because nobody knows how to drive around the roundabouts. Yesterday, they were stopping,
Yeah,
literally stopping and letting everybody
so
go.
I'm going to go
I
on
was
a
like, come
limb,
on.
and everybody's got their own opinion, and everyone's got the right to their own opinion. But I think the roundabouts are fantastic, and I just think it's just a very simple yield to the left. That's it.
That's it.
Yield to the left. So, but then I also was speaking with, and I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot the commissioner who I was speaking with at the bazaar.
Jen.
That's probably Jen.
Jen,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, and she's such a wealth of information.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was explaining more about the roundabouts, and I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So if that was a four-way stop right
Yes.
there, then you have the danger of T-boning, like running a light, you get T-boned, you're hitting the side,
Correct.
you're going to die. But then when you have the circles, if you're going to blow a circle, like I actually was the other day, I was standing there, I was sitting at the side, and I had somebody in the circle actually stop and wave me through. Like they were waving me on, and then getting pissed at me because I wasn't like going in front of them. I'm like, you've got the right of way.
Right,
Like
right.
you go. But if one was to go and do it, you're hitting sideways.
So slow and so
You're-
slowly.
And slowly.
So you're not T-boning
So
them.
it's
You're
just a
hitting them
little fender
sideways.
bender instead of a
And that made
fatal
a lot of
accident, right? Yeah.
It cuts
made a lot of
down
sense.
on 90% of fatal crashes when you put in a roundabout. So this is being done around the country, number one, and it's certainly being done by Florida Department of Transportation around the state because it's a safer intersection.
And the world seems to be able to do it successfully. I think England's been doing it for quite some time successfully. So I think we can learn how to do it.
Well, I tell people they've been doing the circle on St. Armand's for years. If they can do that one,
Right.
this is nothing. Yeah.
Right.
So the other day, two in front of me stopped and sat there for like 4 minutes.
Right, in the circle?
Yeah.
Were they doing this?
And I'm like, I've been
didn't
here.
know where they were
I'm like,
going.
no, I'm just sitting there going, I've been here a year and I know how to do this. Come on.
Yeah. No. And it's just like the one right here on Gulfstream. Obviously, you need to know which lane to get into. Because I made the first mistake of like not getting into the extreme right lane, and I found myself not going to. No, I'm sorry.
You went
I found myself
downtown instead of going.
No, I went
Yeah.
to St. Armand's.
So did I.
Yeah.
And I did not intend to.
No, me
Yeah.
too.
But
I've done
I
that
did-
twice.
But then you do that once, and then you learn, or
You
twice.
figure it out,
And then
or if you
figure it
realize
out.
you're in the wrong lane, just go around the circle again, and then
Yeah, it's not-
Yeah,
then
look,
get
it's
in
Big
the
Ben.
right lane. Yeah.
Look,
I've
it's
done
Big
that.
Ben.
I've done that too.
So you've been in office,
Since 2015.
15.
but then I'm in the
And they're
position of
four-year
the mayor.
terms? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The commissioner is a 4-year term? When
The
you get voted in?
commissioner is a 4-year term.
And that's elected.
Yeah, that's elected. And then the commissioners each year, now it's November, we then kind of reorganize, choose a mayor, which is really a chairperson of the commission, and a vice mayor, which is really the vice chair,
Sure.
for the year. So, you get the title of mayor. So the year you're mayor, you end up doing a lot more speaking engagements, doing a lot more proclamations, you chair the meeting. So there is some more responsibility, but basically you don't have a bigger vote than any other of the commissioners.
So we've had Kyle on a few times.
Yep.
And he's now a friend of ours, pretty much, right? And he's
Good guy.
everywhere.
Good guy.
And
Man about
he
town.
spoke at the Florida Economic Club once that
Yep.
Mark's involved in. So that's really what the change is for you now for the next year is just to be
Yeah.
more visible kind
Yes.
of and getting out there.
Yes.
I think it's
Which-
cool.
which
I kind
actually-
of think it's cool that every year it's somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I do as
another
well.
commissioner. As opposed to maybe you have the same mayor for like 18 years in some city. I think it's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
The way they do it.
And if I could take
Yeah.
this opportunity maybe to ask you, would you be interested in speaking at our economic
Sure.
club?
Sure.
Yeah, we do it once a month, and it's here on the second floor of the Gator Club, and we have about 36 members or so who come in, and we have the CEOs of. We had the CEO of Selby Gardens, Jenny. We had Mr. Piccolo over at SRQ. Oh, the CEO of the Sarasota Memorial Hospital came and spoke.
Yep.
So it's pertinent people who are making things happen in the city, and they come and they speak for about 20 minutes. And it's not a networking session so much, more, which people do network,
Of course.
but it's more about people that want to know what's happening downtown from the people who are making it happen downtown. Would you be
I would
open
be,
to maybe in February or
absolutely.
March?
This is, talking about Sarasota is one of the things I love to do, so I would love to come talk
That'd
to
be
your group.
fantastic, man. Thank you so much. I'll get with you offline on the details on that.
Okay.
But that'd be
And
great.
we'd love to
Sounds
do
good.
that as well.
Huh?
Talking about Sarasota.
Oh, we love it. Well,
that
we
as
do
well.
that every day. We do that here.
We talk about it every day,
Yeah,
but
and
every
people-
Saturday we do it as well.
Every
No,
Saturday
it's
we're here right on the streets.
Yeah.
All right, so our question for you is, what are you finding the biggest challenge that you walked into when you took office here as mayor? I know that's
Yeah.
probably a
Yeah.
hard question because you walked into a lot.
I guess the biggest challenge is to get people to pay attention, I guess, to what's going on. I
Mhm.
mean, there are a core group of people who are really involved, and we have a really involved community who do pay attention. But then you have a vast array of other people that they say, what does a commissioner do? They don't know we have a city commission. They don't know we have a mayor. They don't know, what's going on. And I would love more people to at least, try to follow it a little. I know everybody's busy and they've got other things they need to follow, but, maybe look at the paper or,
Well-
look on Facebook, whatever it is.
And that's something that we spoke about before. Can you tell us when there's meetings that residents can go to? Because people have a voice. That's the great thing
Yeah.
about
That's right.
about Sarasota,
Yep.
right?
And
Anybody
it's-
can come to a meeting and express their.
I believe
what
it's
is it?
like-
I think
is
it's
it a
3
once-
minutes.
It's
Wait, it's like once a week,
Because you
right?
talked about
No,
you got 3
no,
minutes,
no.
and they're like, "That's all."
It's
No, but-
every first Monday and third,
There we
first
go.
and third Monday
First and third
'Cause I
Monday.
remember-
of each month, except for June. We take June off.
So-
Okay. First
One
and
part.
what time is that?
It's at 9 a.m. at City Hall,
Okay.
and so we have public comment right at the beginning at just shortly after 9 a.m. and then at the end of our meeting. So the best bet is to get there at the 9 a.m. meeting because we don't know when the meeting is going to end, and then people can speak then, but then they gotta hang out there all day. So
Sure.
So
Right.
yeah.
And again, I just want to mention Miss Liz Alpert is here speaking with us here. The
Mayor.
the new mayor of Sarasota is now speaking with us here. And so I remember then, because one park was a big issue right over here in
Yes.
the Bay the Bay project.
Yeah.
And so it's one of our projects at Caldwell Banker. So as a representative there, I went and I spoke, and this is when Kyle was doing it. And so we got up there, and you have like 3 minutes, or is it 5
3
minutes?
minutes. Well, depending on what kind of hearing it is, but generally 3
It
minutes.
was 3 minutes, right? So we sat there, and like five people would go up and sit there, and we'd each have our like topic of discussion. And Kyle had his like stopwatch, or you had that little digital
Yeah,
stopwatch.
right.
He's like, "All right, Mr. Kleka, go." And then you're like, "I'm so nervous," because I'm like, but yeah, everyone. My point being, everyone does have a say, and like people just tend to complain about it, which is fine. I mean, people have
Yeah.
their opinions, but there's different channels you can go through if you really want your opinion heard and not just complain
Yes.
into the air.
Yeah.
Just people will listen to you. That the government will listen to you.
Well, and they can go on our website. They can, they can send us emails. They can make comments on the different agenda items. They can find out what's coming up on the agenda. They can watch the meetings live online, and they can ask to comment by Zoom. So, you have to do it ahead of time to ask to comment by Zoom. But if you don't want to come in person to a meeting or can't come in person, so there are a lot of ways to find out what's going on in the city. There's I think every other week newsletter that they can sign up for to see what's going on. So many, many ways to see what's going on in the city and be able to voice your opinion. And then I should also talk about our Click to Fix.
what
It's
is
an
that?
app you can download, click to fix, and if you're around in the city and you see something, a sidewalk that needs repair or a pothole, take a picture.
I was thinking about
That's
potholes. I've never seen a pothole here. I'm from Chicago.
Yeah,
The suburbs.
Yeah,
That's why I
I've
asked
been
where
in
you were
Chicago,
from.
yeah.
Where you were north of
Chicago,
Rockford.
there's not a street
Oh, you're in
without a
Rockford.
pothole.
Okay. I actually managed an office in Rockford for about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
But I'm from Palatine, and my kids grew up in Crystal Lake.
Okay.
So lots of potholes.
Lots of potholes there,
I've not a lot of potholes here.
But if you do see them, you can take a picture
There's one guy sitting by a phone, like
enter on click to fix.
I'll fix a pothole. Click to fix. No.
Yeah, so that then they get always get a response, and usually that's the fastest way to get attention for something that you see that needs to be fixed. So.
No, that's a great idea to be able to have that so people can interact if they see something going on or like a crime line or something, they can report it in or something. All right, Scott, I'm going to make you the...
No, I
it
did
my
the
turn?
last one. You have to do this one.
Okay, all right. So we're going to wrap it up with a question.
This is a tough one today.
And this is going to be a tough one.
Because
and I'm really nervous to ask you this.
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm not. 2 top favorite restaurants downtown. What would they be in the order?
Oh man,
and I know it's tough because there's like
tough.
100.
She's
There's like
the
100
mayor, though.
restaurants.
It's tough, and also do I want to? Yeah,
no, that's what I mean. That's,
do I want?
Nobody will be upset. Nobody will be upset.
Well, you know what? We can't guarantee that.
Yeah,
we don't. You know what? Maybe that's an unfair question.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to think of something else.
We've got wonderful restaurants in our downtown.
Many wonderful restaurants.
We do a lot of choice.
Okay, I'm going to say, have you been to Bradenton much?
I end up
top 2 favorite restaurants in
Bradenton.
Bradenton.
Well, what about St. Norman's or Siesta?
I don't eat.
downtown.
I don't eat in Bradenton.
34236.
I'm trying to.
I'm also a family law attorney, so I do go to the courthouse there quite frequently, but I don't end up
Okay, I got a question
having
for
lunch
you.
there.
I got a question for you. Lido or Siesta Beach? Which one is your favorite?
Lido.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Hands
mine
down,
too.
and it always was. It's a little quieter.
Less traffic, easier park.
Exactly.
You can take the Bay Runner.
Yeah, you take the
There
Bay
you go.
Runner.
Yeah.
And now we have this huge wide beach that we didn't have before. I mean,
True,
it's
true.
amazing.
And a fun fact that I'm sure you probably know, but I think I think we've talked about it too before, is that the concession stand over at Lido is owned by the gentleman who owns Salute.
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 Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get like a shrimp and mango sauce over there, with like a Pinot.
Yeah.
You don't just get a hot dog and a burger. Right. Although they do have hot dogs and burgers, but they got some good gourmet food over there.
Absolutely.
So that's a little bit of an interesting concession stand over there at Lido.
Yeah. Right.
So more of charm for downtown Sarasota.
So Liz,
and you can take the trolley from downtown.
And you can take the Bay Runner, you can take a Vail scooter, you can
almost
hitchhike, you can walk.
I jump on my bike. I've gone down there.
Take your own bike.
You can do bike. Yeah, you can bike. We didn't even mention the Ring Lane Trail bike connection to the Legacy Trail too. Right. That will take you, right from Payne Park and into downtown along Ring Lane, and then out to the Keys if you want.
And I do want to ask you one more question before we let you go. And again, Miss Liz Alpert here, our new mayor here, speaking with us. Thank you so much. The SRQ shuttle. Now, I heard there's an SRQ shuttle. It's going to be happening. Is this?
That's the county bus system. Yeah.
Okay.
The county, yeah.
So I heard there was going to be 2 going back and forth from SRQ to downtown and back.
Yeah.
Is there a timeline for that, or is that?
I don't know because that's the county that is setting that up. So, but hopefully that will be soon.
Okay, but again, another thing, another vehicle
benefit to the
to
residents.
Keeping this very walkable and very easy to maneuver. Like, you don't need a car. You don't need a car here.
Right.
Like, you just come in, take a shuttle to a hotel down here, then scooter yourself around, then go right back to the SRQ and go back home.
Yep, that'll be. I think that's been a long time in coming, and you have to have the density to support that. Right. So that's the other advantage of density in a downtown.
Yeah, and a lot of the hotels are now that are going up that are allowing people to come here and visit. The infrastructure, the streets are building up to support that. There is a good plan in place, no matter what people are thinking. So
Thank you. Thank you for this
Thank you for being
opportunity.
here.
no, thank you so much for being here.
And your husband for waiting.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Want to come in and say hi?
Yeah, it was like,
Wanna
he
come and
never
say hi?
stepped over. He's just like, I'm
He's
just
like,
hanging
"Ah,
out."
Yeah.
I'm not taking part in the shenanigans. No, but thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
being here.
coming. It was an honor.
And here, you and your husband have a couple koozies.
Oh, thank you.
I had a couple in my bag.
Honor to meet you.
Yes,
And
for me as
talk a little
well.
bit later on about
Yeah.
speaking over
Yeah.
there if you
Yes,
don't mind.
thank you.
Yes.
That'd be
All
great.
right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
It was an honor. Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good
Again,
rest
everybody.
of your day, everybody.
Too.
Our new mayor, Miss Liz Alpert, here took the time to come speak with us here for
On a day that started
On a
out
day-
stormy, and it's beautiful.
and now it's
sunny.
beautiful.
Yep.
See, she walked in and it cleared up. See that? What does that tell you? The future of Sarasota's in good hands.
Yes. Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic. See, again, if the streets of Sarasota could talk, what would they say? They do talk every day. All the people that all together make this the town that it is.
I now feel like I've been here 11 years instead of 10.
Right. You've
I
gone.
learned
You've
so
gone through
much
an
all the
administration.
time. Yeah.
You've gone
I think
through
I think we could quit
mayoral.
talking. We could quit talking about me being here a year now because it's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
towards 2 and yeah.
Now it's lost its luster. Okay, so we're gonna go and wrap this up here.
Yep.
That
Been
was
a
a
great day.
fantastic interview.
Yep.
Again, thank the mayor so much for coming by and speaking with us. Scotty,
I got 2 more things to say. Make good choices.
you make your choices too, my friend.
Enjoy the ride.
Wow,
That's my
a
name.
nice little tagline. Okay, enjoy the ride.
Oh, one
What?
more thing.
Huh?
1, 2, 3.
Brian Johnson. Okay,
All
so
right. Ciao, everybody.
ciao, everybody. Have a good day.